What do you do when the world says your child doesn't deserve to live? When laws are written to erase your family and your only weapon is faith? This is the story of a mother's courage, a baby's purpose, and a God who writes destiny through the darkest of waters. This is the birth of Moses. Egypt, mighty, merciless, a land of riches built on the backs of slaves. The Israelites, once welcomed guests, had become prisoners of fear. Pharaoh saw their strength and trembled, not in awe, but in jealousy. So he made a choice: to crush them before they rose, to shatter every future before it could speak its first word. And so came the decree: every Hebrew boy shall be cast into the Nile. A river that once gave life became a grave. Imagine the silence in the homes, the cribs left empty, the lullabies never sung, but in one quiet home. Light flickered. A woman named Jochebed gave birth to a son. His cries were soft, but his life was loud with promise. She held him to her chest, and something inside her whispered, "This child matters." For 3 months, she hid him, whispering prayers instead of songs, holding him close when soldiers marched nearby. Every creak of the floor, every wind that rattled the door, felt like death approaching. But she would not let fear win. So, when hiding was no longer possible, she did what only the faithful could do. She let go. She built a basket from papyrus reeds, coated it with tar and pitch, and with trembling hands placed her son inside. She kissed his forehead, whispered his name, and set him afloat on the very river meant to destroy him. The Nile carried the child through shadows and sunlight, past reeds and predators, but never out of God's sight. Miriam, his sister, followed from a distance, watching, waiting, praying that somehow this story would not end in sorrow. And then, God moved. The daughter of Pharaoh, a woman raised in power and privilege, came to the river to bathe. She heard a cry, saw the basket, opened it, and her heart broke open. "This must be a Hebrew child," she said, "but I will raise him as my own." The child born under a death sentence was now wrapped in royal linen. And just then, Miriam stepped forward, bold and brave. "Shall I find a Hebrew woman to nurse the child?" "Yes," Pharaoh's daughter replied, and without knowing it, she returned Moses to the very mother who gave him up. God's hand was not just in the river, it was in the timing, in the pain, in the plan. Moses would grow under Pharaoh's roof, eat at his table, learn his language and laws. But inside him burned the heartbeat of his people, the memory of a brave mother, the protection of a sister, the whisper of a God who had not forgotten his promise. The baby Pharaoh tried to kill would one day stand before him as a man, staff in hand, fire in his voice, demanding freedom for the enslaved. Because when God writes your story, no one can erase it. So if the odds feel against you, if your beginning feels broken, remember this: God sees you when the world overlooks you. He saves when hope seems lost, and He uses the smallest vessels to carry the greatest purpose. Just like Moses, you were not born by accident. You were born for a reason. Share this story with someone who needs to remember their worth. And subscribe for more Bible stories brought to life, one miracle at a time.